In this video, we will be reviewing the Navigator module of the C Nect Workbench. Navigator is a powerful grid interface that allows you to retrieve, review, edit, and transform data from multiple data sources. Navigator is similar in look and feel to Microsoft Excel and is capable of working with millions of rows of data at once, reading data from multiple data sources into a single view, writing data back to source systems, tracking changes with an audit log, and recording commentary in line with data. So let's take a look. We'll start by running our flight details report in our travel application. When the report opens, you will see that it automatically loads the filter that was saved as a default from a prior session. This filter is set to retrieve data for the first 3 months of 2012 for American, Delta, and Southwest Airlines. So let's run this view. Our fetch has completed, and we can see that we received over 567,000 rows of data, as indicated here at the bottom of the Navigator panel. One thing to note is that Navigator uses an in-memory data cache to allow for fast manipulation of data and working with large data sets in the hundreds of thousands or even millions of rows of data. In the top portion of the data panel, we have a header row that has all the fields that have been retrieved, represented as columns with an empty filter field just below each column name. Clicking on a column will sort the records in ascending or descending order. You can also right-click on the column to select your sort order or clear the sorting that's already in place. We can click on a column and see a filter icon appear that allows us to filter on the values that exist in the report. Depending on the data type, Navigator automatically figures out what type of filter you should have. If you were to click the airline column filter, for example, it will provide a list of the unique airline names that were retrieved at runtime. If we use a filter on a column with a date data type, like flight date for example, Navigator will present a date picker pop-up as the filter. You could also start typing the value of what you want to filter on in the space just below the header row, and Navigator automatically filters the values on the fly. There are also other helpful options for columns. For example, if we wanted the airline column to be first in the view, we could drag it to that position. Right-clicking on a column brings up a menu with even more options. We could remove a column from the current view. So if we really didn't care about seeing the quarter, for example, we could remove it to simplify things. To add it back, simply open the column chooser and insert it back into the view by double-clicking or dragging it back to the position we want. There's also a find function that allows you to quickly search the data set. The group by function allows for the grouping of data by the column that is dragged into the group by box. If we wanted to group data by airline, we could drag the column into the group by box and it would automatically group all the records based on that column. A hierarchy can be created by adding more columns for additional levels of grouping. When working with large data sets in a grid like this flight details report, it's helpful to be able to highlight records that meet certain conditions with conditional formatting for quick identification of data that might interest us. Under Home, we'll click Style, and the conditional formatting panel appears on the right. In this example, let's look for flights that are over 2,000 miles. We're going to add a condition using the distance field. You can see that there are some additional operations such as functions, operators, or constants, but we're just going to use fields in this example. We're going to set the expression to distance greater than 2,000 and hit OK. Now we're going to set the background color to orange, and all flights that are greater than 2,000 miles are highlighted in orange. Other options such as font type, weight, and color can be set to give plenty of options in formatting the appearance of the records in the view. On the bottom right side of the Navigator is the Stats panel. Here you can enable a computation of real-time information such as active count, sum, average, min and max values for the fields that are being highlighted. We'll check Select All and then highlight a few of the fields in the distance column. You can see the values change in the Stats panel as we change our selection. If we hold down the Control key and select a few different cells, it uses those for the computations. It's a pretty convenient way to do some quick calculations if you need to. The last item to be covered in this overview is the Navigator Editing function, which is pretty straightforward. Let's go to Reference Folder and then open the Airlines view. Editing has been turned on for this view, which includes Insert, Update, and Delete. They are independent functions, so you could have a view with just Insert and Update without Delete, or just Update for example, whatever fits the use case. We'll run this and see the first record is an airline called Private Flight. We notice that the airline doesn't have a call sign or a country associated with it, so let's do an update. We're going to add privateer as the call sign and United States as the country. The changes that we just made are only stored in the local cache until we save them and write them back to the data source. We could continue to update or add other records, and when we're done, simply go to the File menu and hit Save. It will ask us to confirm and then proceed to write the result back to the database. Audit tracking has been turned on for this view, so we'll quickly take a look at the audit entry for this record. We go to View, hit the Audit button, expand this a little bit, and there it is. It shows the column call sign was changed from blank to privateer. Typical best practice within the Navigator is to turn Audit on with any view that has editing enabled so that all changes are tracked. This can prove to be useful when needing to know what changes were made, when they were made, and who made them. We hope you found this video useful in gaining a better understanding of the Navigator module of the Connect Workbench. To learn more about Connect, you can view our other videos or contact us at connectdata.com to request a personalized demo. Thank you.